As we start to work with hardware in this course, you'll notice that it doesn't have any plastic casings on it, and lots of the electronics are exposed for you to play with. That's because you're going to be creating your own circuits, as opposed to when you go to the store and purchase, say, a laptop. All of the circuits are already pre-made and soldered together and then encased in plastic. Well, in this course, you're going to look underneath the hood and start to build those circuits yourself. But soldering all those devices together is exhausting and very difficult. So we're going to be using something called a breadboard. A breadboard is a plastic and metal tool that lets you easily prototype and try out different electric circuits without the need of soldering. If you purchase the Adafruit Azure IoT kit, you have a breadboard that looks just like this in your kit, but you can use any breadboard. They're all generally the same. The breadboard is a set of plastic holes that underneath which have pre-made connections created by little pieces of metal. Looks something like this. So when you put one electric device in one side of the metal and another one in the other, then it's as if you've connected those two in a circuit without having to solder them together. When you look at the top of the breadboard, you can see a lot of different holes. The holes that go horizontally across that little gap in the middle are connected as long as they're all in the same row. So if you connect something to the first hole and something to the last hole, it's as if you've soldered them together. Each of these horizontal lines represents a connected set of pins. There's also these 4 vertical lines, and we typically use those for your power supply. That's because you probably need power supply for a lot of things, and so if you send electricity up any of these vertical lines, it'll be really easily accessible from anywhere else on the breadboard. All of the electronic components that come in your kit, and most of which you're going to be working with anyway, are specifically designed to fit your breadboard. They have these little metal prongs that you stick into the holes that are just long enough to create that connection. And you can pick them up and move them around the breadboard and play around with your circuit. That's what makes prototyping so easy. In this course, we are going to be prototyping all of your projects, because maybe you'll want to use any of these devices for something different later. So learning how to use a breadboard and prototype your circuits before you commit to soldering them is incredibly important, and we're going to show you how to do it later in this course.